Jim Jaroszynski from the village of Falconer. I just want to take a moment in just a second here to welcome everybody to this dedication of the Hugh C Bedient marker. This is something that has been in the planning for at least a couple years now. I'd be digress if I didn't pay some respects to my predecessor, Mayor James Rensel. This was in his administration it started, and so because of COVID last year we could not get this marker going, and so coming out of COVID we can once again put this marker or dedicate this marker. So I just wanted to say welcome to everyone for coming tonight. The village board says thank you. We really appreciate the turnout that has happened tonight. So I also would like to thank myself just personally, a couple people that were involved. If I missed someone, I'm sorry, but Randy Anderson from the Chautauqua County Sports Hall of Fame, the Pomeroy Foundation, Brenda Cavallari, Sue Siemens, the list goes on. So if I missed you, I'm sorry, but you know you're thanked for being a part of it. So without further ado, I'd like to bring our village historian, Brenda Cavallari, forward and say a few words.
I'm so excited to see so many people here. This is great. We're making history today. This is our first marker. I guarantee it won't be our last, all right? Okay. I was very proud to have been part of this team to make this happen. And I really, we had so many people. We had Randy helping us. He's the one that called and said, go for this. You can do it. You can make it happen. And we had input from Greg Peterson. And myself and Sue, we worked on the collecting all the primary sources, because you really have to prove to the Pomeroy Foundation that your idea is worthy of having such a marker as this. And then we turned all of our documentation over to Anna Fales, and she really worked to get all that stuff, and worked back and forth with Pomeroy. And we're just so thrilled that it came together, and I really appreciate what Carl and everybody, his crew, did to get this put up for us. It's been sitting up in the historian's office now for probably over a year, and I showed it a couple of weeks ago to this when the kids came in from the 6th grade, and I said, we're going to get this up so you can come on over and see it. So we did have a letter from the Pomeroy Foundation that I would like to read. And it says, congratulations on your marker dedication ceremony. We wish we could be with you for this special occasion to commemorate the historical legacy of professional baseball player and World Series champion Hugh Carpenter Bedient. At the William G. Pomeroy Foundation, one of our main initiatives is to help people celebrate their community's history. Since 2006, when Bill Pomeroy launched the Foundation's first marker program, we have awarded more than 1,400 grants for roadside markers and plaques nationwide. Markers help educate the public, encourage pride of place, and promote historic tourism. You are now a part of that select group from across the United States who are able to tell their community's history with a Pomeroy Foundation roadside marker. Pomeroy markers are well researched with primary sources reviewed by professional historians. That's what sets your marker apart. You know you have the gold standard of historic markers. The marker you dedicate today is part of our New York State Historic Marker Grant Program. In the Empire State, we also offer marker grant programs ranging from folklore and the National Register of Historic Places to our brand new food history program called Hungry for History, which is currently accepting applications. You can learn more of that by applying for a Pomeroy Foundation marker grant on our website, wgpffoundation.org. For your efforts to commemorate Bedient, we commend you and extend our appreciation to the Village of Falconer, the Chautauqua Sports Hall of Fame, and all those involved with obtaining this marker. We know it will stand as an enduring testament of Bedient's professional baseball legacy for generations to come. Congratulations. Warm regards, Paula Miller, Executive Director, William G. Pomeroy Foundation.
The mission of the Chautauqua County Sports Hall of Fame is to honor and preserve the sports history of Chautauqua County. 109 years ago, Hugh Bedient forged his name into the sporting history of our county with his outstanding rookie season for the Boston Red Sox that included a superior performance in the 1912 World Series when he appeared in 4 games, defeated the legendary Hall of Famer Christy Mathewson with a 3-hitter in a pivotal 3rd game, and had a minuscule 0.50 earned run average for the series. Over 25,000 fans greeted Hugh when he returned home following his World Series success. At a time when baseball was the national game, Bedient was a superstar of the highest magnitude in our little corner of the world. Hugh pitched for Boston again in 1913 and 1914, but when an offer came to double his salary and play closer to home in Buffalo in 1915, he jumped to the Federal League. After the Federal League collapsed the following year, Bedient signed with Toledo of the American Association for 1916. He pitched a career-high 305 innings in 49 games for the Mud Hens. Bedient appeared in just 1 game in 1917 before he was called for military service during World War I. After being away from the game for 4 seasons, he returned to Toledo and resumed his career for the next 3 years in Toledo. The final 2 years of his professional career, Hugh pitched for Portland of the Pacific Coast League and Atlanta of the Southern Association. After his pro career ended, Hugh returned to his beloved Western New York, where he worked and continued to play baseball as a semi-pro pitcher, primarily for Billy Webb's Jamestown Spiders at Celeron Park. Hugh played well into his 40s. In his youth, Hugh had been a pitching star for Falconer High School and then for a semi-pro team. He once struck out 42 batters in 23 innings against Corey. That performance led to 19 professional offers. The Society of American Baseball Researchers polled all of its members, trying to fill in the void in naming Rookie of the Years, since none were selected between 1900 and 1948. Hugh Bedient was selected by SABR, the preeminent baseball historians in our county, as the unofficial 1912 American League Rookie of the Year. Hugh Bedient died on July 21st, 1965, at the age of 75. He was elected to the Chautauqua Sports Hall of Fame in 1983. But in my mind, the story of Hugh Bedient is about more than baseball. It's the story of a man who loved his family and who loved Falconer. He could have lived anywhere. Why not Boston, where he was a folk hero after the 1912 series? Why not Toledo, where he played 5 seasons? Well, the answer is Hugh was a humble man who shunned the spotlight and big cities. This is where Hugh Bedient was comfortable. And thank goodness he returned to Falconer, where he raised his children, Eleanor, Fanchon, and Palmer. And thank goodness Eleanor's and Fanchon's children, Hugh Imus, Herm, Pam, Candy, and Tom Ames, are from Falconer. Think of what Bedient's grandchildren have meant to this community. And now we're into the next generation of Bedient, great-grandchildren, and even great-great-grandchildren here tonight. So yes, this marker honors a great ball player, but it also honors a man who loved Falconer. May it serve as a source of pride for all of us who read it, and especially the young ball players who are here tonight. I hope you will be inspired by the story of Hugh Bedient. He can do it. You can do it. The Hugh Bedient Historical Marker is a collaborative effort between the Chautauqua Sports Hall of Fame, the Village of Falconer, and the William G. Pomeroy Foundation, who provided the funding. I want to specifically thank Brenda Cavallari, Anna Fales, Sue Siemens, and Greg Peterson for their help with this project. I also want to express my appreciation to Mayor Jim and the Village Board for all they did to make today happen. Thank you very much. Hugh Bedient.
As I say, I was always glad of bragging about having a grandfather, and I have the big picture of the World Series thing there, and nobody ever used to believe me that was my grandfather, and I'd bring him over to the house and say, "In your face," you know. And that, but I was talking with Greg and I, we played Little League Baseball up on Willard Street Extension, the old Willard Street field. We played for VFW up there, and Greg reminded me of that. My grandfather, he used to come up. I used to pitch in Little League. He used to come up and watch behind the fence. It's just like Randy was saying, he was always a modest guy. He had a big straw hat on, and he used to sit out in left field out there on the other side of the fence and come up and watch, you know. That was always a good, you know, especially as you get older, you know, it means more, you know, so. And that's about it. That's all I got to say. So, but thank you all for coming, and yeah, at Falconer, I raised my kids here, and I'm always glad I did, you know, and that's all. Thank you.
Come back. Here we go, Tom. Graduate, played baseball at this park. 1912 World Series champion. Very good. Awesome.